Good afternoon. My name is Walt, and this is Wargaming Shattered Sea, episode 20. Oh my God, I can't believe it's episode 20 and that we've been doing this for quite a long time. But speaking of the guy that started it all, the man, the myth, the legend, the consumer of much bone broth, we have Chaos Actual Nick Cole.
I am so happy to be here. I missed everybody immensely all week long. I was accused of domestic extremism this week. I have been living in basically the Mad Max Wonderland, and that is Southern California. And as I fought and gunned and knifed and clawed my way to just conduct my daily life, I kept saying, well, at least I get to play Forgotten Ruin D&D on Friday.
That is awesome. Can you real quick talk about a certain audio production that has just dropped as of the other day?
Hit and Fade, the new next Forgotten Ruin audiobook came to us through production last week, and we immediately put it up, and Amazon realizes this thing is so loved that they bypassed all the normal parameters, and like that thing was up like in a few hours. Sometimes it takes like a few days, but Amazon really is digging the track on this series because so many people are getting into it. And so Hit and Fade audio is live. It's Rangers versus the Undead. It is, if you can see the cover, eventually you can go into Audible. It is literally Sergeant Kurtz getting his raw on against a bunch of Rangers acting hostile, against a bunch of undead right there. And it's a lot of fun. It's got, look at that, 473 reviews. What's crazier is the third book. And like usually books get worse in a series. The third book caught on fire with ratings and almost has only been out for this month or June, and is almost caught the other two in ratings. People really dig it. We're currently working on book 4, which is Allay the Hate, and it's Rangers getting lost in the weird. It's going to be fun.
That is fantastic. Speaking of weird, we have Eric Nolan joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I've kind of been out of action for the last week. Caught the bug, but got tested. It's not Rona, so glad for that.
Awesome. We had some weird toothbrush action just ahead of the stream, so that was absolutely awesome. Speaking of awesome, we have Lieutenant Rick James being played by J.R. Hanley.
Doing well. How about yourself?
I don't know anything before massive amounts of caffeine.
I just got the Hit and Fade audio, and I was listening to that scene, and I'm like, man, I can turn around. I got enough steps. And then they were smoking a certain Italian person. Well, hell, I guess I got to walk farther. So I took what I call my lieutenant walk, where I intentionally get lost. So that way I have to wander around longer. 10,000 steps that day. Nice.
Not getting his steps in, but definitely getting his chops around some quality calories. We have Wilbur Aloysius Kuchenmeyer being played by Michael Rothman.
Howdy. And
pizza
today.
Right on. J-Mac playing Crowley.
I love that Hit and Fade cover, man. It's very modern for Zeta. I love it.
Right.
Let me ask you something, J-Mac. So I'm out there rowing around in the wind and the salt and the sea around an island that you used to live on when you were a kid. Like,
Yeah.
What, were you some little rich boy? What the hell? And do your parents still live there? And can I live with them?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You just have to ask.
Yeah.
I can't live with them, but
You can't. Are they crazy?
no, they're awesome. They're very conservative.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful island. You were mocking my rowing, but
No, I wasn't. I was just like, hey, I know that area because I used to swim across the to the peninsula to go surfing because
Oh,
it
nice.
was just
Okay.
faster than walking.
So maybe Crowley and his conservative parents are why you're getting the extremist warnings. Maybe they're telling you something.
yeah, I think Lido Island is pretty much one giant hotbed of extremism, being that like there are Trump flags flying from every possible pole. And even
There was a Trump meeting there on the island.
They did, yeah. He met with the big, huge game designer. What's his name? Palmer Luckey.
That can't be real. But speaking of real, we have Jesse playing Richardson.
Afternoon.
How's it going?
Another fun Friday.
Yes. And probably suffering a bout of gnome-induced indigestion, we have Brad Villanueva being played by Sparky.
Hello, everybody.
And we want to ask Toth the Asker to join us, being played by William Joseph Roberts of Three Raven Studios. How are you, sir? Or Three Raven Publishing, excuse me.
I go to y'all.
One of my friends has a Raven Studios thing, so that's always stuck in my brain. What's the good word for this week?
Busy trying to catch up on everything after LibertyCon, because that was insane, doing all the videos and editing and getting everything prepped on that stuff.
Yeah, I heard the Jello pool was insane.
Just the visuals on that just hurt my brain.
If there was a Jello pool, Larry probably would have been in it just to get everything, all the extremists all worried about him again.
Oh my God.
And if you're wondering why James M. Ward is legendary game designer of Gamma World and Dungeons and Dragons, Metamorphosis Alpha, a few other choice titles, isn't here, it's because we murdered him last week. Or was
the week before?
Yeah,
the week before.
Murdered him last week. So we just want our guests to know, and we like our people to know, that we are no respecter of persons of your celebrity. If you come here, it is game on. And we murdered one of the biggest names in gaming, and apparently he's really butthurt about that.
And we're still calculating our XP for that. So
yeah,
we're working that out.
I'm still basking in the warm glow of his death. But I love James, and he's a lot of fun. But that was a lot. Anybody who's played in a convention with him knows that was a long time coming.
We did it for all those people.
One thing that James Ward taught us is dungeon masters don't kill players, players kill players, and bad dice rolls kill players.
Right on.
I'm just glad I could do my part.
God. So last week,
poorly executed.
Yeah, last week there was some mayhem on the island.
Oh, God.
As JR led the expedition. That's what we thought right when it happened. JR led the expedition to speak to the sirens. There was some miscommunication as to what the sirens actually were, so we drew up this little graphic of ghosts and death to show people exactly what was going on. After tense negotiations, JR sufficiently pissed off the head siren, which, for those who are not convinced, these are banshees. Banshees and a senior ghost running them all that intentionally crash people onto the island. So after tense negotiation and a little bit of escape, our intrepid heroes made their way back to the beach to meet with Chaos Actual as a ghost fleet of ships break through the waves and start advancing toward your position. So you guys can see these things off in the distance, like big, huge black warships. Tattered sails and crewed by personnel of the dead, floating 20, 30 feet in the air and advancing on your position. The admiral that Chaos Actual might have had a meeting with is out in the bay, and she begins to angle her ships, and they start going to cannons. So the scene immediately erupts in mayhem. As this all goes on, your giant Templar approaches with. He was back helping some of the wounded. He comes in and brings along with him what looks like a salty dwarf in plate armor. The dwarf is similarly dressed to him. Tattered symbols of faith in streamers, kind of like wafting off of him. Of course, he's the dwarf has to take 4 strides to every stride that he takes, and he comes up and he says, "All right, who has peed in the punch bowl?"
We all pointed.
I pointed JR.
Wait, there was punch? Why didn't I get offered any?
So
he pulled a Benny.
the first sergeant for the Ranger detachment comes up, and he's got that look in his face on his face that all first sergeants have when they see a private who should have been police call come in with his third stripper wife instead. He rolls up and says, "I'm with the big guy. What are we doing here? And why are people firing cannons?"
Ask JR about that. That's
I'm keen to know on this one.
That's all JR. JR, you tell him.
So the Banshees don't like us. Apparently, they don't like our special water. We were just trying to share. Sharing is caring, and they're not caring people, so they got to die.
I think a more accurate statement is they don't like you, sir.
It's been known to happen.
So dagger number 5, he says, he leans in to Chaos Actual and he goes, "Sir, that's not really how it happened."
How did it happen?
The lieutenant tried to rock powers, and he got his powers rocked.
That happens not. Rock power.
By the way, dagger number 5 is blinged out.
Yes.
And I look over at dagger number 5, and I'm like, "I'm still taking your stuff."
So, what would be
You're
a
not taking
good
anything.
practical assessment of the situation?
So you have
We have an undead fleet to our 4.
correct. You
We have a shield wall, an admiral in front of us.
yeah. The admiral is off to one side, kind of trying to take the ships at broadside, but they're having trouble engaging the ships because every time they manage to get cannons on target, the ships either raise or lower in height. So they're having to change the deflection of the guns, and so they're having trouble keeping a track on the enemy. So it looks like at the very minimum, one of these ships is going to get through.
And then what's behind us?
The army that just abandoned us, which was the what was the name of that army?
You mean
Army
the
of the
mercenaries?
gold coin.
The mercenaries. Yeah.
Oh no, they're still around. It's just that they abandoned you guys. So at one point, Nick,
There is this chest of gold I made for you, though.
the infinitely givable gold coin was handed out to the mercenaries in order to get them to change sides. See what you're running into, WJR. And then when they saw that JR had ran afoul of the Banshees, they were like, "Nope, this isn't enough," and they all left.
And where are the Banshees?
They all disappeared. So like they did their ghost thing and kind of fluttered out. And the next thing you know, these ships rose from the water and just started advancing in your position.
Well, the important question is how much super whiskey do I have left?
Part of a flask.
Not enough.
Everything you can buy with that chest of gold.
I will put up. I will start to issue my order and how we are going to deal with this. But I'll hold up a finger and drain my flask first while I try to think of how to fix this.
Hey, Walt,
Yes.
while this is going on, can I apply a med kit? Because I'm still a little short on HP.
Yep. Go for it.
What do I roll?
Hold on. The Templar will handle that. He's got. Let's see. You get 9 back.
No, I think it pops me off.
So he takes a meaty paw, and because this thing is a half ogre or some version of ogre in some point. So he's huge, and he just slaps the front of your armor. You almost feel your spine disengage from your soul, and you feel a little bit better after the fillings reset themselves in your head. You're up 9.
Yeah.
Is anybody else injured? He wants to know. And he says to his dwarven companion, he says, "I know we don't have much experience together, but if any of these are injured, it would behoove us to get them strong and capable before we get humped into the beach."
I could use a top off. I'm still injured from my "Get Down, Mr. President" and then Nick blowing up Matt Damon.
That's
Yeah, I
right. You
could
did
use
take the
top
hit for that.
And Matt Damon has he reassembled yet?
No,
He
I
is.
think he's still
He is.
holding out.
He's mostly assembled, but the legs have still not attached themselves.
Well,
I'll top off.
Crowley, don't you have like, now that I finished draining my whiskey, I will lean into Crowley and put my knife hand in his chest here, and say, like, don't you have powers with the dead? Isn't that your deal, man?
I don't know what's going on. You don't know this, but like as you're saying this little disembodied hand that is also a forearm and like a upper arm and a shoulder comes walking out behind me, and then it props upside down and just waves at you. It's like, yeah, I kind of. Powers with undead? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
For those that are new, that's the equivalent of the Addams Family thing, but with more pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah, with slightly more tail. So,
I've been practicing a little bit.
Toth the Asker, are you assisting these guys and getting them back to health?
Am I here? I didn't even know where I was yet.
Yes, you are the dwarf. You are the dwarf that is the assistant to, or that has come to assist your giant companion.
Ah, okay. Sure.
All right, so give me. He starts handing you scrolls that will allow you to read from them, and the prayers will heal the injured. So that way, you're not using the spells that you have prepared for the day.
Okay.
Do we get any blessings or anything?
He's going to do that.
Okay.
All right. So while this is all going on, and you guys are kind of trying to regroup and re-engage, some of the rangers are starting to grab weapons. The ones that are combat capable. The first sergeant starts barking orders to get things moving. Dagger number 5 comes up and says, "Sir," and he's talking to you, Nick. He says, "I can probably slow that thing down if you want."
Do it.
He says, "All right, I guess this is epic moment time." And he, like, as he's walking, he's like trying to boost himself up because all his friends are dead, except for Richardson and Bren. And he's like, "Boys, wish me luck." And he straps one of those bucklers on his arm, and he jumps into the water.
Can this thing be hurt kinetically?
It looks like they're hammering. The fleet that you guys brought with you, the small flotilla, in order for you to conquer this island. They're smashing some of these boats to pieces. One of them goes up in a huge explosion as one of the powder magazines ignite. You see that just this flaming wreck, almost like a Hindenburg-esque crash into the water, and as it does, there's a secondary explosion. But as it was going down and losing cohesion, the ghostly crew were falling back into the ocean. You don't know whether or not they're hurt because undead, but it doesn't look like it went well for them.
Well, maybe our druid could do something about that. And I have a plan, and it's a good thing that Dagger number 5 is going to buy us a little time to construct my plan. I will need, if the party has it, I will need some exercise bands and some high speed tape. Does anybody have exercise bands and high speed tape?
I have some ace bandages that might work, like as a headband.
What would be the likelihood, Walt, that some of us CrossFitted and might have an exercise band on us?
One of the rangers comes up and he goes, "Yo, bro," and he hands you a TRX trainer.
Sweet, that's exactly what I need.
And then one of the other rangers, in typical 75th fashion, goes, "Excuse me, sir, I wouldn't put your hands on that. You don't know where he had to hide that in prison."
Desperate times come from desperate measures.
He goes, "Don't. Make sure you wash your hands."
What I need, JR, is for you to be as useful as you've ever been and form the right anchor. Okay, and I give him this half of the TRX. and then I'm going to ask Sparky to hold the other half of the anchor. And I'm going to say, you guys are really going to need to hold on to this and start stretching apart as far as it'll go.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to take the ace bandage and I'm going to take my last brick of C4. And I'm going to take my last chunk of star metal, which was in my sword that blew off the front of the ship. I'm going to set up the C4 and get it ready to Wi-Fi detonate. Then I'm going to ace bandage it around the star metal brick, and then I'm going to hand it to who's our big guy? What's his name? The big thing.
Ogre.
No, do we have we have a golem, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to hand this to him and say, I want you to pull back as hard as you can.
How big is this? How big is this whole like IED you've constructed?
Like a C4 brick is this big, and then a star, like about that big.
All right.
All right. And we're
Can one
gonna
of my sparrows carry it?
And then I'm gonna be on the detonator, and as soon as it lobs out there, I'm gonna fire it.
If you used both sparrows, they could probably carry it.
Then we could do that. We don't even need
That might be more accurate.
Yeah, let's do that.
Aren't the sparrows going to blow up?
They drop
Depends on not if they drop it and fly away.
Okay. I am now singing an 80s power ballad. I'm waiting for the montage to kick in.
What if two swallows had a coconut tied between each other?
I have a problem with this plan. It actually makes sense, and it might work. I like the other plan better.
All right, so Nolan calls in his mechanical sparrows, which are more the size of like very large ravens. They hit the they hit the beach. You guys start assembling your improvised IED. There's a whole lot of almost like interest in the Rangers, because these guys, since you guys landed, these guys have basically been in prison. So they've either seen their captors, which were these, underwater horrors, or now they've been just witnessing massive loads of undead, and they're kind of wide-eyed about everything. So they're trying to look over your shoulders, trying to, you guys are constantly like, no, don't touch that. You got a master breacher who's behind you, who's like, you should probably wait. No, plate.
I will heed his advice.
Go ahead.
Before we throw this, I'm gonna pull the black magic marker I still had in my cargo pocket, and I'm gonna draw a smiley face on the C4 that he's getting ready to throw.
As you're drawing the smiley face, one of the Rangers comes in and says, "Excuse me, sir. I was an artist before I joined the regiment. Can I just draw something real quick too?"
And I'll hand him the marker.
He draws a dick on top of it, and it's very poorly.
Of course,
it's very poorly constructed. He hands you back the marker, and he's like, "He goes,
keep it. You're such an artist. You're Picasso."
He puts it behind his ear, and he takes the cigarette from his ear, and he hands it to you, and he's like, That was my dad's good luck cigarette from Vietnam. Don't ask me where I had to hide that. And he walks away.
I will pluck that cigarette and light it. I'm working with explosives.
All right, so you send the sparrows out?
Yep.
Yes,
absolutely.
All right, so they take off, right? These mechanical birds. Nolan is kind of got his hand out and is guiding them, seeing through their eyes. They kind of are darting in and around, kind of like Flight of the Angry Bumblebee, because of the amount of cannon fire being leveled back and forth. At one point, a cannon shell from the Ghost Fleet hits the beach next to the first sergeant, and he just flips them off. The barrage just goes on for minutes, and then at one point, you get a sensation of panic from one of the sparrows, Nolan, because something feels like it's holding it.
Like it's holding it. Like a hand, or
so as you
hitting a wall, or
as you look kind of through the second sparrow's eyes, the thing kind of turns its head, and you can see this ghostly apparition with a head of a skull, wispy hair, and it's got its talons of this like spectral hand around one of the sparrows. Give me a saving throw and you have to roll a 12 or higher.
Oh goodness.
You can do it, Nolan.
15.
All right. It looks like it's going to do that thing where you would like break a chicken's neck or break, like destroy a bird, right? And as it almost starts to glow in the glee of mayhem and havoc, it's about to rend on your creature. A cannonball passes through it, kind of like dissipating it for a second, and then the birds make their way to the ship. Do you order them to drop?
Where exactly are they again?
So they're above the ship that Rock
Yes.
Powers wants destroyed. Do you order them to
Yes.
drop the package?
I want to make sure I'm leading it just enough, right? And then yes.
All right. The two birds fly away in opposite directions, and you see the C4 kind of start tumbling in the block, tumbling into into target. The last thing the crew sees before Rock, I assume you're going to detonate at this point.
I put my cigarette in my mouth and
Hit the plunger. The last thing this crew sees before an epic flash and explosion is the smiley face just behind a giant dick as the improvised explosive goes off. It's not like a huge fireball like you see in the movies. There's a huge pressure wave, a large belch of black smoke. The whole middle of the ship cracks in half. Timbers and splinters explode everywhere. You can see like skeletal warriors being flung from the decks. Something below deck ignites. And once again, kind of in that Hindenburg fashion, this thing plows into the beach just ahead of you guys. The first sergeant starts yelling to his men something about, I better not have to see, I better not finish this speech before Rangers get to the objective kind of deal. And they're off, the ones that are capable are already off and running. What do you guys do?
I finished my smoke.
Not the one from
I'm
the
gonna light
Ranger
up a
Ale.
smoke. Light up a smoke and put it in my drink tube.
Nice.
We're Air Force. Our work is done.
Oh my goodness. As that thing hits the beach, you also notice there's still movement inside the flaming wreckage of this thing.
So I'm gonna the spell protection from evil and chaos, is that on me or on the party members?
I just want to say thanks to Michael Rothman for giving out 5 tier 1 community subs to the stream. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That's awesome when that happens. So what are you doing, JR?
Is the spell, the protection from chaos, is that on me or is it on my party?
So you're the big giant cleric has cast that on the party. So you guys have protection from evil, protection from chaos, and he's also blessing the party. Whoops.
Can I add to that? Is what I'm asking.
But does
No.
it protect it from me? Does it protect chaos?
Probably not. All right. So you guys see this like flaming wreckage hit the beach. Things start crawling from the wreckage. At one point, one of the Rangers gets really close, and a pirate warrior comes up from the sand on fire, kind of hugs him, so catches him in a grapple, and with 2 knives starts like pounding on his back, almost like a sewing machine, into this poor Ranger as he's trying to lay some fire down into the beach. What are you guys doing?
So I'm going to go. I assume we're near some water.
Oh yeah,
we're on the beach. So I'm going to go see if I can commune with any of the spirits that I had previously communed with, and see if I can get some Get some of them to assist with cleanup.
All right.
I'm
What?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, good.
I'm going to take a shot on the thing attacking the poor ranger.
All right, so let's go right into rounds. All right, so they're kind of disoriented, so you guys have first attack because these things hit the beach, so only a few of them seem to be kind of on the level. Let's see, I need that. All right, so let's start with Nick first. What are you doing other than trying to find a second source of whiskey?
Well, I'm probably down to my butt. I'll flick that off into the water, and I will try to identify an enemy commander of some sort.
In the ship, it looks like punching its way through the deck. You can see a guy wearing very similar armor to the stuff that J-Mac is wearing.
Aha.
But it's not like ghoulish in nature, more skeletal. It looks like there's a veil of chainmail over its face, but you can see the hollow orbs where eyes should be, and there's only a red glow there.
I will stand up from the sand. I will take my +3 sword that I just acquired, and I will advance on him, pointing towards him and telling him he's mine. In typical pirate fashion, he does like one of these, like bring it. All right, so that I
brings
am bringing it.
that brings us to J-Mac.
This is fun and all, but are there body parts on the beach?
First, right out the gate.
Right out of the gate. Yes, there is.
Okay, so before I explain my plan, I say, JR, cover me.
Oh, God.
All right.
And then I run to the
I
body
say a
parts on the
silent
beach.
prayer.
All right,
You're
so
critical.
you're moving toward where some of the debris is.
Oh, yeah, I want to scavenge those bodies so bad.
All right, so okay, that brings us to Booger.
I'm going to commune with that spirit, see if I can get somebody to respond and attack our new friends.
All right, so you see Booger reach into the water, and kind of like he looks like he cups the water and then lets it go, and then cups the water and lets it go, and on the third time that he does it, the water starts rising around him, forming a face, and you can almost think you see the face smile. That brings us to Richardson. Jesse.
Okay. How many actual enemies do we have right now that are functioning?
You can see at least 6 on the beach that are starting to claw themselves up onto KTF Fiend, please take 100 XP for that. That's fantastic. And Lord Dalius, better new t-shirt is I am bringing it. The chat is going crazy. You missed the opportunity to coin the phrase chain veil there. You are correct. All right, so there's about 6 enemies trying to claw their way up to their feet.
All right. I will try to command them to stay in place and not take any action.
Gotcha. So you're using the armor.
Yes.
And some of your abilities. Oh, crap. I didn't get you your abilities this week, did I?
No.
That is because I am awful and it's almost 4th of July. So pick one. Ghostly presence. Aura of command. Or cheat death.
Ooh, cheat death. That's worked out for me a lot.
We'll just go with the tried and true Aura of Command for right now.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm telling you, the next time you eat at a bad Chinese place, you'll wish you had cheat death.
Makes
No,
Taco Tuesday look
When
like a
he's
bland offering.
coming out both ends, you're going to wish for cheat death.
That's Thai food because it'll have a burn.
I've
yeah.
got some stories there.
I have like a Thai food place called Tinacorn in south of LA. Yeah, it's badass, man. Their spicy fried basil rice with green curry.
You know, I was going to do tacos tonight, but I might have to hit Thai now. All right, so that brings to Bren.
Bring the map back up real quick.
Yeah, I can do that. Da-da-da.
I'm gonna get sushi tonight.
You're going what?
I'm gonna get sushi tonight.
Oh, nice.
Can I see the red guy? Who's that?
He's the guy that Rock Powers just flipped off.
Okay. Can I hit him from where I'm at?
Yeah, you can take a shot at him. What are you
Okay.
using, the spear gun?
Yep.
Roll a 20.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's a quick encounter.
Saving throw work.
Stealing the thunder.
Yeah. So Rock Powers does one of these, like like pointing to like he's going to hit a home run. People start arranging. You see Wilbur like start conjuring the spirits of the earth in order to help you in your fight against the undead. And then Bren comes up and goes, doink. And you see this little spear just kind of lazily go. There's a detonation when it hits. The ship explodes into cinders, blowing your enemies into all directions. The pressure wave, I need a saving throw from everybody to keep on your feet. Well, everybody but Bren. So saving throw should be on the front of your sheet. It should say ST right next to it.
Is it an explosive?
It is technically an explosive, yes.
So you got 17. I'm assuming that's
Oh yeah, you're good.
It's a small tactical nuclear weapon.
So what you're saying is that this game requires dice.
Yes.
Interestingly, there's another game out this week that people can buy that requires dice.
Oh, you talking about the newly released war game from Galaxy's Edge?
I saw an email on that.
Yeah, if you ever have wanted to play a Legionnaire in full N4 total combat toe to toe, it's out, and there's miniatures and they're beautiful. And I rolled a 14.
Oh my God! Let me bring up the magical link because we do have the thing for that. So Enemy Spotted Studios has teamed up with Galaxy's Edge to produce the first line of Galaxy's
Look
Edge
at that.
minis. And I can tell you from personal experience, they are glorious. They are just 10 pounds of awesome in a 4-pound bag. There, you have the sniper, the squad automatic blaster gunner with enhanced armor, the team leader, and then a rifleman. There's options that you can order more of one guy or another. So if you want to flesh out your squad with an extra rifleman, an extra Sab gunner. I mean, these things are just incredible. They do not come painted, but they are glorious. And we've had several guys in the fan group show their paints, their particular paints. If you haven't ordered from Enemy Spotted Studios yet, they are 100% professional. These guys are top notch in their production of their stuff, and their customer service is amazing. I had a minor glitch to a gift set that I sent out of these. They had it all corrected in minutes, and the correction was on its way to the customer in less than a day. These guys are fantastic to talk to and work for and work with. So if you have a miniatures war game, if you want to play a tactical war game on the table with lieges, or you want these lieges in preparation for the upcoming Galaxy's Edge role-playing game, hit up Enemy Spotted Studios and get your gear on, because and you will not be disappointed. The link is very easy: enemyspotted.studios.com/Galaxy's Edge. But if you need something a little bigger for your table, these right here are 3.75 inch. They are huge and they are awesome. So, and the detail that you see in the 28 millimeter is even more present in the 3 3/4 inch, and they're just fantastic. So, go there. You can get a free copy of our rules by Andrew Ruiz, a member of the Galaxy's Edge Insiders, and you can play those at the table in minutes. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So back to our action. There is this thing explodes. Who does not make their saving throw?
Okay, I want to. My saving throw is a 10, and I rolled an 8. But I'm also a grunt, and if it's an explosion,
You get a
I
plus
get
2.
+2.
Yeah, so you're good.
Okay.
So
good.
you were scavenging, right? And you were just about to hold up a what do you call it? A like a severed limb.
And
So
you
you
get blown
take
out of your hand.
you take what do you call it? You take the limb and jam it into the beach and kind of like go to hold on. And as the explosion goes, you reach out and you grab your Addams Family hand as it flies by, and you're like holding it in the maelstrom.
Matty Jr.
Matty Jr. Gotcha.
Yes.
Magic.
So you're holding on to this. Who does not make their saving throw? Everybody made it. Good.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
So you guys managed to weather the storm. Those that don't, like a couple of the Rangers, Rudy manages to catch on the way by. When the smoke clears and things start like tumbling down, the beach is cleared. The boat is like a few timbers, and just some distance away, maybe 100 meters or so, is that guy in the red armor, like staggering.
Well, after that, I dropped my spear gun, whip my sunglasses out, do this, and say, "Pop that, Crowley!"
William,
Can't
what do
hold
you?
person on the pirate dude.
You're gonna cast Hold Person.
Yep.
You get a sensation from the old gods that this is not a person.
Shit.
So, but you also get the sensation that you might be able to use other abilities to affect this. So, like turning the undead or banishing the undead, that kind of deal.
Okay.
Is that something that you want to try out?
Yes, but I have no idea where that is right at the moment.
All right, it's on the third sheet.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to need a 13 or higher in order to command, control, or expel this thing.
All right. Yeah, nope, 6.
Yeah, all right. So this new dwarven companion that Gazir had brought with him runs up, grabs this holy symbol of his faith, takes it off his neck in an epic fashion as like burning timbers are falling around him. It's very cinematic. He's like, "Be gone and I banish you, demon." And the thing just looks at him as if to say, "Huh? No hablo inglés."
I speak Spanish.
That was very good.
I shouldn't have burned that 20 earlier.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you did have that 20 earlier, right before the stream. That takes us down to JR.
So the ones that are crawling out of the water, are they crawling out of an actual boat or just the water itself?
So you turn to notice that there are some of the ones that have been decimated on the flight in that were falling into the water are walking out of the water to your rear.
Okay.
Those are walking. The ones that were on the beach next to you, as you guys were advancing up, those are destroyed. Bren pretty much took a hammer to them in the sandbox.
All right, so I'm going to use my minor illusion cantrip, and I'm going to create more of the skeletons, and they're going to tell them over here and point them and taking them away from us.
As you've been receiving instruction from Angry Magic Karen, she would have told you that illusions have no effect on the undead.
Okay. So
Is there another spell that you would like to use instead?
No magic.
I'm going to send a firebolt at them.
All right. So go ahead and all right. So you're casting Firebolt.
Yep.
One of them is going to try and save. You conjure up this like pea-sized looking meteor, and cast it out toward the skeleton. It hits right into its eye, and catches its skull on fire. It doesn't look like it's affected, but you've noticed before that these things don't really react to pain, so it might not be that big a deal. Goes to Eric.
All right. Is there a large grouping of them all like clustered together?
There's
Anywhere?
some coming out of the ones that were on the beach heading towards you. Those are all destroyed. J-Mac, there's plenty of material for you to work with when you come back around again.
Like Christmas.
The ones that are coming out of the water are kind of over here. You got you and Rudy. Rudy's right there. You're right there. What are you going to do?
Hey, Rudy, spring the boom. I'm gonna order him into like a cluster of them and have him do his fire burst.
Okay. All right. So let me get this. All right. So you order Rudy forward, and he's going to start walking. He doesn't move very fast, so he'll get there next round. But yeah, he's going to move up toward them and try and act as a battlement for you. They all have swords, so they still have to advance on you, and they don't move very fast, so they'll probably get there next round. The guy in the red armor, he makes gestures in the air as he's trying to like stand up after the explosion. It looks like he got rocked pretty bad. As he's doing that, a ghostly apparition appears next to him and also starts gesturing in the air. And he looks he looks like he's starting to get his wind back. So that goes us back to Chaos Actual.
I will go ahead and move to attack him.
All right, so you're moving up the beach. And then we'll treat that as a hold action because you'll get there at the end of the round.
Okay.
So when you come again, J-Mac.
I grab Matty Jr. like he's a pimp cane, and I strut down the beach full of all this undead, shattered stuff. And I walk toward this guy wearing armor that's very similar to mine and go, "That's a nice chain veil you got. It'd be a shame for something to happen to it." And then I command Matty Jr. to go take it from him.
All right, so do you?
And I'm approaching the attack too with Chaos Actual for next turn.
Okay, so do you fling Matty Jr.?
Yeah. I throw him like a boomerang.
The visual on this is hurting my head. All right, Booger.
Well, all right. So I had talked to the spirit. Am I done with that? They're doing their thing.
It is reforming. What are you telling it to do?
So I'm actually telling it. I figure Chaos Actual and company will take care of our red guys. So I'm looking at and I assume everybody else that is squirming and undead is in the water.
Yes.
Still. So I'm asking them to go take care of our targets that are still in the water. See if you can make them go away.
All right. So you whisper to this thing, and you can hear the spirits of the ruin kind of like echoing back your commands in all sorts of languages. Some of them you understand, some of them you don't. And as the whispers kind of pass by, the little spectral face in the water just kind of nods and disappears. And then in an instant, the tide just rushes out. So rushes back to sea, exposing several hundred undead advancing on you. All warriors in like pirate attire. Some of them even have old school firearms, flintlocks. Probably none of it's going to work because of the water involved. But cutlasses are coming out. You can see guys with nets and spears. It looks like an entire invasion force of undead. But yeah, the tide rushes out, revealing all of this. Richardson.
Remember, the tide's coming back.
I guess since we got this whole gaggle of undead coming to the party, I'll just throw some suppressive fire in their direction to slow them down a little bit more.
All right, suppressive fire. So are you actually using suppressive fire, or are you just throwing a couple of bursts their way?
Suppressive fire.
All right, so that's a saving throw on their side. So you start like what do you call it? Like dropping into position and start gunning. Several of them like huddle together and start locking shields, which does little for bullets. The rounds just start peppering these guys as full automatic gunfire just starts ripping them to shreds. Bren.
Can I see the map again, please?
I can certainly do that. Da-da-da. It's almost like we have the technology.
Almost. I'll go ahead and take another shot, reload with my spear gun, or take another shot at one of these things coming in.
Oh, one of the skeletons?
What about the red guy?
What's the red guy doing? I thought he'd already been dispatched.
Oh, no. He looks like he's getting ready to receive the charge from Chaos Actual.
Let's see if I can steal Chaos Actual's thunder. I rolled an unadjusted 19.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In Crowley-esque fashion, what's the damage?
What is the damage on that? Because apparently I did not write it down, at least not on this sheet.
It's 1d8.
1d8? Okay.
Sorry, trying to swap out my cameras here.
Gotcha. It's almost like the flamingo knows what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, it's 6 plus free to damage on that, correct?
It's what?
I have my legend preferred weapon. I think it's a plus free to damage on 7. So 7. Yeah.
So 10?
Yep.
All right. That ghostly apparition steps in front of him, accepting the bolt. The spear pierces what would have been its chest, almost folding it in half. It looks violently upset from being struck in that fashion, especially in something so base as a spear gun. That brings us to Bren. Oh, I'm sorry, you were Bren. Brings us to William.
Again.
William. William, you're up.
You're muted. Try turn the dude again.
You're gonna try and turn the guy in the red.
Yeah.
Or some of the. All right, go ahead.
And 17 that time.
All right. So, without all of the cinematic effects of burning ships and stuff like that, this time Toth the Asker comes up and presents his symbol. Everybody feels a weight, almost like as if gravity increased at some point. You see almost like if somebody was kicking their way through leaves, you see like the parts of dead bodies being like shoved away as something advances on this thing. And it raises its arms up and pulls its head away and backs away from the ship. That brings us to JR.
How close are the undead mercenaries to us?
Danger close. You think next round they'll be able to attack you?
All right, I'm going to use the cantrip, the message, and I'm going to send a message to the leader that I spoke to earlier with the 4 marks on his shoulder and tell him that it's not too late to reevaluate the situation and that I brought Captain Powers back to negotiate on our behalf.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right.
The one who killed, and I remind him that this is the one that killed his boss and fodder.
Oh yeah, because he was asking for Rock Powers last session. All right,
right,
so you whisper
the win.
Yep, you whisper into, like, you make a closed fist and whisper the message into your fist, and as you push away from your face, the message becomes a spectral bird and flies off.
Okay. Can you only do one cantrip around?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know. I've read the rules.
No, I'm asking. I wasn't quite clear.
Yeah, you can only do one thing per round. So that goes to Eric.
All right. So we got Rudy advancing on the troops. He's gonna lay down some boom. I'm now gonna order up my sparrows to swoop in on whoever that is next to the red armor guy.
All right. So this cat right here.
Yeah.
So it looks like wearing pirate garb on the top, like like a brace with a bunch of pouches. You can see several daggers, but also has that chain veil thing going on. But the lower half is like an armored skirt, more like you would see in like old knighthood. But the whole effect is like a skeletal apparition. You're gonna have them swoop in on her.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot and see what happens.
All right, give me an attack roll.
And then, alrighty. Nat 20.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All right, roll a percentage roll.
All right, percentage.
That's how you beat these games.
86.
86. Let's see here.
Hope you win your little D&D game, honey.
So 86. All right, they lash across what would have been her face, tearing off the chain veil and tearing off the spectral form of its jaw, which once it leaves the actual overall apparition, you just see it like waft into a instance of smoke, and then it's gone. So this is just a skeletal head with no jaw glaring at you from the attack. That goes to their turn. Some of the skeletons manage to advance. Rudy gets there at one point. You see it's the seams in its armor flare. It becomes almost like hot metal. The sea around it starts boiling, and it breathes this huge gout of fire right into this group of skeletons here, decimating a couple of them. Let's see. This one advances on Rick James. He is going to try for a hit. JR, you are hit. You take a glancing blow as you hide behind one of the timbers, but he's really powerful when he actually strikes down, and it goes through the timbers and slices into your shoulder for 3 points. Let's see. Richardson, one of them rushes at you and stops as it does. Sparky, another one rushes at you, ducking the massive golem as it does. You get hit. Drives its sword into your abdomen for 6 points.
Ow.
Nolan, one of the ones in the water over here, plunges its sword into because all that water has basically gone out with the tide. Plunges his sword down, pulls out a pistol that should not work. As he extends his arm and points it at you, you see this like ghostly fire kind of trace itself down its arm and start wrapping around the pistol. As he pulls the trigger and the hammer goes forward, there's an explosion from the end of it. You get hit.
That's not fair.
For 9 points.
9 points, copy.
All right, what does that bring you down to?
25.
Brutal. All right, so the two at the end of the beach, they're more in like disengaging mode than they are in engaging mode, especially after what Toth the Asker did to kind of push them back. this brings us to at the end of the round, Chaos Actual. You are here advancing on them. What do you do?
I'm going to take my +3 sword, and I'm going to tell the sort of war chief that it's him and I in single combat, and that'll solve this whole mess. I challenge him to a duel.
He like pushes away the specter that's been kind of ministering to him. He doesn't say anything, but he slams his chest twice and he pulls his own sword.
Sweet.
But then he like points, and as he like puts his hand toward you, you see this ghostly script start kind of what do you call it? Tracing itself into the sand of the beach. JR, are you still wearing those glasses?
I am.
All right. Richardson, Crowley, and anybody wearing those special glasses can see as he moves his hand toward Rock Powers to kind of like demonstrate something. You guys all see this writing start being inscribed into the sand of the beach. Above it, anybody with special vision can see what looks like armored angels writing into the sand, and like above them you can see an army of their own with like their hands on swords. It's almost like an action scene from a movie on pause, and the only one moving is the one inscribing something on the beach. So you think it's whatever Toth the Asker did to push this thing back, this is part of it. So every time he like goes to advance, these things appear and like as if to say, go ahead, step forward, see what happens. And then, so basically what he's telling you, Chaos Actual, is that you have to advance to him, not the other way around.
Okay, I advance to him.
All right, are you taking a shot?
Yeah, I'm going to stab him right in the face.
With the big giant sword that you took from the mercenary?
I did.
Oh God. There's really not a lot of boat left. I mean, I could try and find a shattered, busted boat map really quick, but you know, you guys get the picture.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and roll.
I'm going to get a 10.
A 10.
+3 is 13.
Yep. Plus your
Dual
bonus.
skills.
Yep, you got it.
All right. What does this sword do?
It's 1d8 plus 3.
Plus 3. Take that, bitch. 5.
All right.
Damage to the face.
All right. So he tries to dodge, right? So in typical fashion, you thrust at his head and he kind of leans around it as if to say ha ha ha. And as he goes to pull back, you roll the blade over into an overhand strike and then shove it straight through the chain veil into his mouth.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything as far as pain goes because you don't know if this thing can talk, but it starts swatting at the blade, trying to get away from the pain that you're dishing out. Crowley, you were there as well. Are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot.
I know you threw your hand, which is going to...
Did you bring the veil back to me? The chain veil?
The one that fell off the spectral ghost, or the one, or his?
His.
So you see the little of the hand crawling across the thing.
Okay.
Does he get any bonus points for playing Stranger Danger with the extra hand?
Oh, it's about to go real fast. It kind of does that thing where, you know, the hand like does the jumping spider and grabs onto a pant leg, and then it props the bottom of its arm on the leg to reach up higher and pull. And you see this odd macabre scene of this epic spectral skeletal commander with a sword in his face trying to slap a disembodied arm off his leg.
Okay, here's my turn because I want to respect the duel. I'm going to use a frag grenade. So I'm going to frag grenade the guy next to him.
If you do that,
hang on.
Yep.
I'm going to get down Mr. President Nick.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to use my armor to make this hit heal.
No, it's going to be a touch attack where that
Oh,
happens.
it can't be a frag.
No.
Come on, that would have been great. Just immediately blow up everything and heal for me.
Nope. It's touch attack only.
My plans.
Are you still launching the frag grenade?
I don't know if it doesn't heal now.
No, you gotta.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'm still get downing Mr. President rock powers.
All right. So you get shielded, Nick, from an explosion. Where do you throw the grenade?
At the guy next to
All right. So they're really close together. So
Yeah.
you guys are going to be caught in the blast, but you're still cool with taking the hit.
Yeah, does JR get hit? Because that'll. If
No,
he gets
JR
hit, I'm definitely doing it.
Go put it in his pants.
JR's right here.
So maybe he gets hit. Okay.
He's kind of shielded, but it's going to be close.
Okay.
All right. So
Do I have to saving throw my own frag?
yes, you do.
Okay.
And
So
you're going to.
what do I roll first?
The frag is 3d6, which in this game is a lot of damage.
Do I have to roll for a hit?
Nope.
Or am I just so close I drop it?
Area effect.
Yeah, it's an area effect. Just roll a 20 and let me know if you get a 1.
15.
1.
Yeah, you're good. You're fine. Yep.
Okay.
So, which was
So now
yeah,
I roll 3d6.
Yes, sir. Tell me what you get.
I got 14.
All right. So, he's got a sword in the face. He's got a rapidly advancing disembodied arm on his body. And then Crowley steps in the way and he's like face to face with you, Nick.
I got this.
In a very uncomfortable bromance kind of face to face kind of thing. And he's like, I'm taking the hit on this one. Dink. You see the spoon and the grenade fly away. It detonates on the beach, blowing both the ghost and the what do you call it? The ghost and the commander into the beach.
What happened to Thing?
It's not going to go good.
Yeah, he's probably obliterated.
He's
That's all right.
probably-
I got other parts.
As an Air Force person, do I need to make some kind of saving throw to recognize the grenade?
No. You just need to. You just need to make a. Well, he took the hit for you.
Okay.
Right. So he takes all 14 points of that damage.
I rolled a 20 on my.
I'm not familiar with actual weapons.
You just know what a charge block is because you've seen them in movies.
Yeah. That was all made up.
I rolled a natural 20 on my saving throw.
All right, so yeah, you're.
I'm just doing this in style.
Yeah, you take half of it, so you take the 7. They get blown into the beach. The hand gets incinerated and basically eviscerated.
And there's the water coming back.
Yeah, that was just getting there. As that happens, you guys see off in the distance as this skeletal army is coming in.
Tidal wave.
You see this massive wave coming back. Tidal wave in proportions, right? And right as it's about to kind of like slam into this army, a creature that you guys had fought previously, 5 heads,
Hydra.
30 to 40 feet long, dragon-esque in appearance, crashes down on a horde of these skeletons as the rest of the water slams into the beach. The tidal wave starts to roll towards you and then immediately stops in a wall of water at your position.
So the important question is, how did JR fare in all of that?
JR was covered by the boat, so he just took the hit from the skeleton, which the skeleton is right on him and is the only survivor of the mass decimation you guys just leveled on everybody. I need a saving throw for Rudy Nolan.
Copy. 9.
No, he does not save. Let's see.
Not Rudy. Not Rudy.
Right?
My boy.
So as the wall of water normalizes and sinks back into like the normal rhythm of waves, there is that ghostly woman just off in the shore Booger, the one that you had talked to before. Yep. She just levels a very curt bow before she dissolves into the waves herself. And the ruined husk of Rudy is slammed into the beach, broken and bent. You can hear gears whirring as he's trying to move like a wounded animal trying to get back to his master.
No, Rudy!
But the only skeleton that is remaining is the one that's on JR. Booger, are you doing anything?
So, and is the skeleton that's on JR? Is it? I mean, big
it's
guy,
still
little
attacking
guy?
him.
Okay.
The wall of water didn't like advance that close because it would have gotten JR and some of you at the same time.
So I'll actually go ahead and pull out my handgun and take a pot shot at the skeleton.
All right, go for it. It's got a 6 AC. That means you need.
Well, I got a 16, so I think.
Oh yeah, plenty. Go ahead and give me damage. 2d6.
All right. 7.
All right. So JR, it pulls its sword from your shoulder, and in doing that, there's a small gout of blood. It goes for another hack, and it takes a round to the skull, shattering it into the ruins of the boat. The beach is kind of quiet at this point, which would be a good time to show off that amazing hat that Nick is wearing. Did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about Ted Lehman's stuff a little bit?
I love Ted Lehman's stuff. He made this this hat, this leather patch. He signed an exclusive marketing deal with GE.
Nice.
To produce really cool stuff. He made a leather map.
Oh wow.
It's not really pink.
It's not really pink. It's my massive sunburn from being out in the waves.
Nice. That hat is glorious, though.
That hat is glorious.
Oh, I love that.
This journal, and he even put graph paper in it so you can.
Oh, that's dope.
Your dungeon.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But the hat's pretty cool. I really like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I just think that nice little ranger bend in it.
Yeah. I got to get one of those patches because usually what I'll do is I'll get these cool, like I can put stuff on my hats.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty dope. So the beach goes quiet. As you guys are kind of like reassembling and readjusting, the big Templar walks over to you, Toth, and he says, "Are you well? Were you hurt?"
No, I'm fine.
He says, I have other matters to attend to across the beach. Please assist these men in their endeavors.
I start checking for damage, doing bandages and all that good junk.
Oh, some of these guys are messed up. So as you can hear one guy who took a bullet to the body sobbing over the corpse of his giant mechanized golem.
I'm actually going to scoop up a cup of water, cast fire water, and throw it on him.
Oh, to try and heal him.
Yes.
All right. So he takes a handful of seawater, whispers into the seawater, and you see the consistency change. He pours it into some of the crevices and then brings out a small like flint. After a moment, the thing gets encased in fire, and as it's burning, you see dents start to work themselves out. Bends readjust, so it starts healing some of the damage of the broken body. Toth, do you do anything to assist the bullet wound that's in his shoulder?
I will cast a Cure Light Wounds on him.
All right, give me a 1d6, please.
6.
Excellent. All right, so that's 6 of the 9. So you feel pretty good, but not good enough to feel like you're at the top of your game. As you're kind of doing the regroup thing, both J-Mac and Richardson get a sense of a major spectral presence.
Excellent.
The water parts again, not like Red Sea parts, but just kind of moves out of the way. And you see a ghostly woman, much different than the one that assisted you, Wilbur, walking toward Rock Powers.
Wait, C parts?
No, not sea parts. Like the sea like opens up a little bit.
Oh, you see how I was confused.
Oh my God. The epicness. Rudy has failed master. So this woman is walking up toward Rock Powers. She does not appear threatening, but as a ghost, you know that doesn't mean anything. Do you guys do anything?
I call up my spirit friend and go, you know who she is?
You hear the whispers of the ruin in your ear. This is the goddess of the siren.
Oh, there you go. Do I need assistance? I think I might need assistance.
JR,
keep JR away from her.
What do you call it? You get a sense of this is the presence you felt when you were dealing with the other ghost. This was the presence you felt in the background. So if the ghost you dealt with is the commander, this is like their president.
Okay.
I will walk
I already
over to
killed the
JR.
commander. So.
I will walk over to JR and like put my hand on his chest, kind of push him back, just to make sure he stays an ample distance back.
I will help Richardson in this.
And I've got my vial ready, because remember I got my vials back,
Yep.
after we left. So I got my vial ready, but I'm talking to the spirit who helped me create the vials in the first place. Go, hey, we might need your assistance here.
Gotcha.
I say, JR, you got this. And then immediately turn around and loot the body of the girl we blew up. I'm looking for the chain veil and maybe a foot.
Gotcha. All right. So
do I recover a foot? Did I find one? Because
there is a chain veil there.
And is there a foot, right or left? I'm not picky.
He's gonna make his own Frankenstein.
There's limbs everywhere. I mean,
okay.
When Bren launched his nuclear spear gun, it blew body parts everywhere.
Oh no! I want specifically off of the head guy.
Oh yeah,
one of his feet.
You can take. Oh god, that's creepy. Damn necromancers. Yeah, you can get one of his feet.
Okay, I do that. JR, you got this. You're good. I got you.
The woman stops a good few feet from J-Mac and Nick and says, I wish to speak to the commander. You point to JR?
No, I'll take over. I can do it.
She says, I am the Lady Siren. This was my island. She says, I cannot stand against the forces you've arrayed against us. She says, I wish to make a deal. The same deal I tried to make with your person. And she glances at JR. She's like, that could have avoided all this.
Yes. He is mentally challenged. Ate a lot of paste as a child.
And a lot of crayons as an adult.
What
Air Force, not Marine.
What does she look like?
She has her hair done up where it's like a French roll to the sides, cascading in long braids. You can tell that in life she was, if your goal is to someday hang with a 10, she would have been a 15.
Is there any bad juju off of her?
You get the sense that the image she is portraying in this apparitional form, it's kind of like the ghostly equivalent of trying to be polite. But notice, Lord Dalius, notice how Walt oozes hair envy. That's right, baby. Go ball.
He's a-
Go ball.
And note, since I'm an expert, I don't detect any Jew out of this lady.
She is definitely she is definitely sinister. That you can feel. So she says, "I am looking to make a bargain."
I'm all ears.
You might be.
I could use to.
The necromancy jokes are real. She says, "You have dispatched the lords of Fang and Fog. You have dispatched the Wrathghouls and the Skalvos mercenaries. The other major power on this island are cowering on one side, afraid to enter what is obviously our epic battle. However, I just want an occasional ship. If you direct your enemies to my side of the island, I will take care of them for you and feast off their remains and make sure that you are privy to any physical treasure we recover."
I have a lot of enemies.
She says, "We will control the majority of the dead here and ensure that they keep your holdings protected. Consider us at your call."
Okay. Well, that's all and well and good. I will probably accept your terms, but I lean in real close and I go, as you can see, I kind of need to look like a big guy in front of everybody now that I've beaten you and everything like that. So I'm going to need a pile of loot here in front of me. Do you have any whiskey or like anything alcoholic that's been laying around?
She says, "Back in our cave."
As tribute. Clearly, I'm the victor, but I like our deal. I'm going to bring you a lot of people who are out to get me. So it's really going to work out for you. Trust me. Believe me. Like, you don't get this good without attracting a lot of enemies. So it's going to work out for you. But in front of the men, I'm going to need to look like a big guy. So pile of tribute.
She says, "There is enough gold and things that we can bring you that you never need leave the island again if that is your wish."
Bring it to me.
She says, "However," and then she gestures back toward the broken boat, and you see like a mound of sand rise up. It explodes in not explodes as in like an explosion, but like tumbling down out of it, almost like a volcanic eruption, are just wave after wave of crabs, almost like that scene in The Mummy where all the scarabs like run across the bottom of the pyramid. You just have like this wave of crabs coming up, and as the sand finally exudes all of its countenance onto the beach, you can see a gold encrusted flask exposed as the crabs run into the water to escape whatever she's doing. She says, "My lord," and she just tips her head a little bit, and she says, "Our deal is intact then?"
It is.
She says, "Go easy on that." She goes, "It's aged just right," and she bows, and as she bows, she disappears.
How close is that flask to me?
Hey,
You mean the flask in my hand already?
Oh, my lord!
Yes, that one.
Somebody needs to check it for you to make sure it isn't poison. I should do it for you. Let me have it.
no.
So do you guys each take a celebratory sip from the flask?
Yeah, I'll let them
Yeah.
test it.
No.
Yeah.
It's not whiskey. It's cognac. And
That's good stuff then.
it's very good.
I've learned from experience not to trust anything that comes out of a wave of crabs.
That did not just happen. So
But what's wrong with the
It probably
adventure?
doesn't itch.
I drink it and say this is the best crab juice I've ever had.
So you get some of the Rangers start coming up, and you get the medic comes up and starts checking injuries and stuff like that. As the medic starts working on your shoulder, JR, where that sword bit in, and he says, "Hey, what's this?" And he starts like messing with the what do you call it? Like the fabric of your shirt.
Right.
You feel kind of nice. Like all of a sudden, like everything's cool. Like just chill. Right.
Okay.
And you look down, like he's exposing the wound, and you see the wound closing on its own. He's like, sir, are you doing that?
I thought you were doing that. I thought we were friends.
He's like, I ain't that friendly. Excuse me, sir. And he tries to get your attention. Rock.
I come over with my super cognac.
He's like, have you ever seen anything like this before? And you can see JR's the cut, the deep laceration in his shoulder is closing rapidly.
Yes, if I were a better person, I would say that he is a witch and we should drown him, but I'm not. So he does freaky stuff like that. It'll probably end badly for him.
Such faith.
So, Toth, you're a little bit of ways, just like all warm from this amazing liquor that you've just downed. You get a very bad sensation. JR, as you're kind of looking across the beach, those angelic spirits that you saw earlier, one of them is appearing to Toth, and it kneels down because the things are statuesque. They're huge. It kneels down to Toth and is like whispering in his ear. Toth, you get the sense that something's wrong. Something very bad is going on.
Okay. I can't see or hear anything.
No, you just get a sense like that something desperate is about to happen.
Then I start to recant the battle and cast turn undead.
All right, so you're going to try and turn undead again.
Just an immediate take my all pike, begin recanting the battle, and just smack it into the ground and turn undead.
JR, as you're watching, you see like that kind of angelic scene that you saw that was in freeze frame,
right?
Reappear, and they sweep across the beach. But that's what you see with the glasses. J-Mac, you see it. Richardson, you see it because you guys are enhanced in that way.
To be fair, I'm not looking in that direction.
Okay, you're playing with your feet.
Yeah.
Danger.
Was it Rule 32 or whatever?
What is it?
Was it that Rule 32 of the internet or whatever?
Yeah. So real quick, since this game is sponsored by Galaxy's Edge, and even though we've talked about the Galaxy's Edge minis, Nick, would you like to give us a quick hit about Galaxy's Edge?
Man, Galaxy's Edge is on fire right now, and it's doing really great. It's got a lot of books. If you're kind of filling up on, there's really nothing to watch on TV, and fiction isn't your jam, and you kind of want to get into, I don't know, Star Wars, not Star Wars, or stormtroopers in Afghanistan, or just good old military space science fiction, then I think like about 10,000 reviewers, it's actually even more, I think, would point you towards Galaxy's Edge. It's a really great, long-spanning science fiction series that you can dive into. There's some one-off books if you want to give it a taste in the Tyrus Rex series, think The Mandalorian, things like that. Or you can just check out some really cool classic individual standalone military tales in the Order of the Centurion series, or you can jump into the main series with Legionnaire. And I think you'll have a pretty good time. A lot of people have had a really good time. It's worth giving it a look. It's over on Amazon and Audible. I think people dig it.
Hell yeah. So as we go back to the story, JR, you feel warm. Like you're starting to feel like hot, like problematic.
I tell him he's probably going to have a heart attack.
You shouldn't have pissed your pants.
I think that helps people when they're stressing out to start thinking of things that they're going to die from.
Malaria.
Can I help you? Are you
Because I'm
pregnant?
hot, I'm going to take some of my gonna take some of my canteen water. That's the special water from the spirit. I'm just gonna drink some of it.
I'm going to tell him he doesn't look very well.
He doesn't. He's starting to look like really, really pale.
You look like shit.
He looks great to me. He's gonna be fine, guys.
You're just looking forward to raising him.
Eating some more feet.
I call dibs on his loot.
The what do you call it? As you guys are kind of like starting to hover near JR, Rick James, the ghost that you were just dealing with reappears beside you, Nick. Lady Siren, and she says, "This was not our deal."
I'm not clear on what's going on.
She says,
I thank you for the cognac. It's great.
She says, "That was my pleasure, but this is disturbing. You didn't tell me you were hiding him."
We didn't know we were hiding him. What is he?
She says, "Oh, how can I trust you after this?"
Well, I don't think you can. I really have to tell you, I'm at a loss. I don't know what's going on.
So then he's betrayed you too.
He's not that, you dealt with him. He's not that smart to actually do betrayal. There's probably a good chance he doesn't know what's going on.
She says,
We had this president where I came from. He was our ruler. He was absolutely fucking clueless.
She says,
he tried to nuke us all one time. That was our leader.
Oh my God, JR is Joe Biden, and
so
there's a good. I don't know. Like, I'll tell you what. If he knows what he's doing, you can smoke him. I'll even drink the cognac while you do. But I think there's a pretty good chance he has no idea what's going on.
She says,
"Drink the cognac anyway."
She says,
I am going to drink the cognac anyways.
"I will return with the mercenaries." And as she goes to turn, it almost looks like the impressions of a giant hand wrapped around her press into her flesh. Ooh. And she's caught in like mid motion, almost like an old VCR image that just keeps shaking back and forth. Right. And it looks like she's caught in mid scream. JR, in your head, you hear, nice try, bitch.
You glitch out the Matrix.
You see a hood flash from under JR's clothing and wrap around his face. The cloak wraps around his body and cocoons him.
It was just in my rucksack though. It wasn't actually, I wasn't wearing it, right?
It's correct. Out.
Am I getting any bad juju off of this now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Telling you, she's not Jewish, man.
JR, the head of the cloak bursts into flames. So like JR's head wrapped in the cloak bursts into flames. The cloak melts to his head, burning away his flesh and turning into almost like a flaming skull. He stands wrapped in like this old Iron Age armor with a ghostly bird kind of hovering just above the armor. The bird's head rises up toward his face in like a phantasmal scream, and as he stands up to 9 feet tall with talons and holding a giant sword, he says, "Good to be home. Good to be home."
Where is he in relation to everyone else?
He's standing right next to everybody because this was JR's character that just turned into this.
Do I need to stay insanity?
What's that? So
stave against insanity or something?
JR, give me a saving throw at a -6.
Ooh.
That's when the DM really loves you.
Yep.
That made my butt hurt.
So I just rolled a natural 1.
Oh, JR.
Oh, you just lost that character.
Oh my god.
So wait a minute. When you get negative, does that wrap around?
So I'm a -5.
Is that like a reach around almost?
So JR stands up in this forum, and he says, "Nice to see you, Rock. Good to have you back." And he
Pocket
says,
sand.
"Nice to see that you put this bitch in her place." So I'm going to give you all a choice. You work on my island, and we'll be okay. You are now my subjects. You do what I say. Now that my brother is dead, now that you have this bitch under control, my island, my face, this is my place. Do we have an accord?
Pocket sand.
What is it?
I'm sitting on the beach. I just grab sand and throw it into his face.
He goes, he like
Reasonable reaction.
Raising his hands like, what was that supposed to accomplish?
Then I attack him.
All fight to face.
All right.
Am I still in there where I could be like screaming at him? No!
You kind of, you're kind of like in a New York cab, driven by an angry person who has locked the doors and is smashing into the cars parked on the street.
He's being driven by the creep show skeleton guy. Yeah, it's like
pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, so you attack, Nick?
Yes, I do.
JR, you have 60 hit points. So keep track of that.
Wait, did the audience see my reaction?
I need the nat 20 on this guy with my spear gun.
So in this game, that's a lot. All right, so Nick, you go to stab him with the mercenary sword?
Yes.
Go for it.
I'm going to probably miss with a 6.
All right.
It got pocket sand in his face.
It grabs the blade and just kind of bats it away.
I will use that opportunity to roll away with the blade and sort of out of general play.
Oh, nice.
I've set the tone of what I would like to have happen. Now I'm willing to just not necessarily participate actively.
So you threw a rock at the hornet's nest and ran inside while everybody starts screaming?
Well, I mean, technically.
J-Mac.
So I stand up. I just see what's going on. I'm like, oh, okay, we're attacking this thing. Did anyone try pocket sand yet? Did that work?
Never underestimate pocket sand.
Right. Okay, so it didn't work. And Maddie Jr.'s gone. He's obliterated. Yes. Okay. I'm going to shoot at this thing.
All right, go for it. -2 armor class. So
I rolled a 9, so I did. I don't think I hit.
So you put 2 rounds into the side of the timbers of what would have been the boat. Then that goes to Booger.
Well, I unstopper my vial and toss it at our friend.
All right.
Vial of holy water or whatnot. Yeah.
Go for it.
And I roll a natural 17.
All right.
That's how you D&D.
The beaker splashes and hits over it. It flickers the flame on its skull a little bit, and then it ignites brighter. You get the sense that this thing being anchored to JR is protecting it from a lot of things that would normally affect undead.
All right.
All right. Richardson.
All right. Since my
send word, use weapons.
Since my skills got delayed in transit, what are my options to use right now?
Guns.
So you got guns, you got the Wraithmail armor, all of the things that can do.
He has the Thord too,
and you have the Thord.
And let's see, am I still standing near where the XJR used to be?
Yes.
I could still overpower him. I'm mentally tough.
I have no
God help
faith.
No.
I will guess try to take a swipe with the sword.
All right. You're in a -1 for the first round because of the weight.
Mm-hmm.
You're level 6, right?
No.
What level?
5.
5? Okay, go ahead.
14, 15.
15 with your bonuses, that will hit. Go ahead and 1d6 plus 2.
That would be a 7.
All right, so he bats Rock Power's sword away. Rock kind of does an umbrella kind of maneuver to circle himself around and parry himself away from the action. You step in and stab it straight through the breastplate. That brings us to Bren.
I'm going to draw my obsidian sword and take a stab at him. I rolled a 19.
Yep, that hits. Go ahead.
Okay, that's a 1d6.
Yep.
Okay. 5.
All right. Hold on one second. Got it. All right. So as Richardson pulls the blade back along the line of his shoulder, you kind of like slide in on a knee and jab this thing straight through the leg plate. What's that?
You're gonna die, clown.
That goes right to William.
All pike, two face.
Go for it.
When in doubt, whip it out.
13.
13 with your bonuses. You hit. All right. So 2d6.
2d6. Okay.
Watch out, this thing can breathe fire.
4.
All right. So you kind of approach. One guy kind of slides under the swordsman and like nails him in the leg with this thing that looks like a giant obsidian butcher knife. You come in from the other side and use the pike on the top to stab right beneath the breastplate on your side. That goes to JR. Oh no, not yet. Eric.
I'm going to take cover behind Rudy, first and foremost, because I'm kind of squishy.
Yep.
And does it look like he's wearing the cloak in some sort of fashion in his new state?
So 9 foot tall, grayish armor with a ghostly symbol floating above it. He's got massive talons on his hand, and instead of what would be a cloak, he has giant black wings with the tips of the feathers on fire.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I still like my idea of taking cover behind Rudy. Tell Rudy to cover me.
He's probably first level.
And I'm going to have both of my sparrows dive down at his head, but specifically to go through that whatever ghostly symbol is.
All right, go ahead and roll.
8. One of them just naturally doesn't have the actual attack for the sparrows, but
all right. They kind of dive in, and he just kind of, with a quick flutter of his wings, moves out of the way of each swooping automaton. That's going to go to JR. You have physical attacks, you have magical attacks, and you have the ability to breathe fire.
Am I, as Rick James, still alive in there?
Somewhat.
Or do I have no control?
I'm going
to try to resist. I'm going to try to resist the cloak by distracting him with stupid dad jokes.
Okay.
As the chat requested. I'm going to see if I can like distract him.
All right, I am going to grant this, but you need to actually give me a dad joke.
Agreed. Like
Like-
you need to know if it's
My
worth.
wife said I should do lunges to stay in shape. That would be a big step forward.
He's not impressed. Not yet. No, if you can get me to laugh, that'll get him to hold his action.
Okay.
Call
So
a friend, JR. Call Rothman.
so
Quick, get
JR,
on his Facebook.
fire, magic, or physical attack?
Magic.
Fireball, lightning bolt,
Oh shit.
or sandstorm.
Sandstorm. Those are brutal.
All right. You see the thing that was JR kind of like raise its fingers. As it does, you can see the sand on the beach mimic an arm coming up. When it clumps down to the beach, all of the sand explodes straight upwards and then starts whirling in a hurricane. It's extremely abrasive. It's nasty to behold. I need a saving throw from everybody.
I failed my saving throw.
Failed.
Failed.
15.
All right, so
I got a 2.
you got a 2.
Yeah, I got 4.
So if you failed, you take 7 points. If you succeed, you take half of that, so that's 3.
So free health. Free.
All right.
That knocks me down.
Rock Powers, what are you doing?
I jab my sword into the sand. I fall into an egg as I pull out my dice and
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh no.
see which ones are talking to me.
Which
And I see that, and in my head, I'm screaming, "Not the dice!"
I'm screaming, "Oh yeah, cockatrice flail time!"
he's still got the whip.
Hey, do you know when a Marine is standing on level ground, the drool is coming out of both sides of his mouth?
Is that before or after he ate the crayons?
Which die are you pulling out first?
Uh-oh.
I'll pull out the D6.
Okay. Also get the D12.
Right.
That's the one that reacts to it.
Yeah.
All right. So you drop those on the sand.
Yes.
Tell me what you get.
The D6 gives me a 4, and the D12 gives me a 5. Please,
4 and
We got,
5.
we got to use the D12. Yay!
please don't let it be a goblin.
It's a Smurf.
Then he comes back from the dead.
Benny's
Yeah,
revenge.
that's what I was about to say, JR. Wouldn't it be great if a little angry little gnome popped out? You some bitches, you killed me.
He does. So yeah, you throw those dice on the sand, and they shake and then embed themselves into the sand. You don't know what's going to happen yet because it's still too early. J Mac.
Okay. I cast animate body part, but on all the body parts on the beach.
Oh.
Rise, my limbs and whatever.
Limbs and bits.
Flail about.
This is going to be a really weird take on Thriller.
Cast wall of limbs.
Yeah.
So you see all the skeletal parts and fleshy bits and broken parts start shaking. Do you command them to rush forward?
Yeah, I command them to attack JR. Specifically JR. I don't even realize he's taken over. I'm just yeah, attack JR.
Yeah, not the thing he's become, but him.
Yeah.
So the what do you call it? All the bits crash together and form a boulder of what looks like limbs and parts.
Cool, undead Voltron.
And they start basically rolling across the beach. As it does, and like you guys are like standing there as it rolls by. You can see like heads turn to look at you. Hands are like reaching into the sand from this undead boulder to act as like a pulling mechanism to roll it forward. You can see massive waves of broken teeth form into like a mouth in the front to try and hit this thing. Do you want to roll?
I'm a little distracted by how cool this is.
Do you want to roll for it? Do you want me to?
I'll roll for it. What do I have to roll?
So you need a 16 or higher.
Oh man, 14.
All right.
Do I get an Oh no, but I get +3, right?
Oh no, it's attack, so it doesn't get any bonuses. So that's
okay.
what you would need. You would need a straight 16 or higher.
Okay.
So it
Does he
smashes.
get a base hit bonus though?
It does not get a base hit bonus. It's not for him. He's just rolling for the attack for the creature.
Okay.
So it hits the side of the boat and breaks apart. Slithers around like a snake and then starts reforming into almost like a centipede of body parts and limbs with a skull at its front. Toth the Asker, you are very freaked out by this.
He's not the only
Yeah.
one.
How close am I to the head of this thing?
To the skeletal boulder that just tried to attack your enemy. It's a little bit distance away. You were watching it go by, like, kind of like. But now it's further away because it's over behind the enemy that you guys are fighting.
Okay, so I still got the all pike stuck in this one dude.
Yes.
Okay, I've got my axe going for the knee.
Go for it.
16.
Nice. Give me damage. Oh, that's that axe, the Widowbreaker. Go ahead.
Wait, what's the damage?
Nice.
1d6. Okay. 3.
All right. Plus, you should get 4.
Plus 4 for undead. Yeah.
Yep.
No, 7.
It bites into the leg armor, splitting the plate. Yeah, that's going to be problematic. That goes to Richardson.
All right. I will, seeing as though I actually did some damage with the sword, I will take another hefty chop at the sword.
All right. You're going to be -2 this time.
Yep. Yeah, we won't talk about that. It's not a 1, but I whiffed it.
So you go to stab this thing again, and the just the weight threw you off a little bit. It grabs the blade and kind of pushes it in line with your shoulder to throw you back. Bren.
Well, are we at any disadvantage because of the sandstorm to hit?
Not yet. Next round you will be, though.
So I was informed, maybe I don't remember, that I picked up Benny's gnomish axe, which would that work as a tomahawk for me?
It's basically a hand axe or war axe to you. So slightly like a tomahawk with a big handle.
Okay. It did magic damage, correct?
It does.
Okay. I'm going to pull that in addition to my sword and make 2 attacks.
All right,
And
you're going to be
that's
-2 and -4.
Okay. So that's a 10.
All right.
And that's a free.
All right, so you embed the weapons straight into the lumber right beside him, and that's when you notice there's a word in a weird script on the back of that axe head. That goes to no, not JR. He goes after you guys. Eric.
I still want to create distance between me and this thing because I'm more squishy, I imagine. I'm going to tell Rudy, you got this. Smash it. And have him attack with the flail hand.
All right, so its hand retracts into the housing of its wrist armor. You see this massive flail head come out, full of spikes and chain. He swings. Go ahead and swing for Rudy.
14.
That will hit for Rudy. Yep. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. 2d6. 5 and 5 for 10.
Oof. It blows the demon JR into the timber, tumbling him back toward the beach a couple of steps. The wings on this thing slam into the beach like two anchors, stopping him in a kneeling position. JR, roll a saving throw and tell me what you get.
I got an 8.
Yeah. Physical, magical, or fire?
Physical.
Unless he wants to try his dad joke.
Unless you want to try a dad joke.
Oh, this time I'm going to try my dad joke. You ready for this? All right. I got it pulled up. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, I'm cheating. Singing in the shower is fun until you get soap in your mouth. Then it's a soap opera.
Nope.
I mean that's as bad as when a lieutenant went to go see a mind reader and apparently there was no charge.
There you go.
I told you guys, put it in the chat, man. It's the chat's fault. They should have given me better jokes.
I like that you're failing these dad jokes. Actually. Much more entertaining.
All right, so physical.
Yeah.
All right.
How do you want your punishment?
Yeah, you pull out a sword. And let's see, 2. We got 6, 8. So I'm gonna roll a D8, and that'll determine who you attack. So, you're attacking Bren.
Ooh.
Bren, I knew thee well.
Oh,
Get
no.
From his face. Can I aim for his mustache?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. I'm
That's a
rolling
called
to attack,
shot.
right?
You can roll the attack unless you want me to.
I got a 16.
With your bonuses, that will hit. 3d6 with that sword.
Ooh.
A 4, a 4, and a 3. So 8, 9, 10, 11.
What does that
Did
bring you
Did
to?
I take the mustache off his face?
Hold on. Let's see. You say 11?
Yep.
That takes me to 4.
Yay, we
Roll
have
a
a
sa-
werewolf.
But
I
his
need a saving
mustache
throw.
survived. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see. My saving for.
Even my final form.
That was my saving. Got it all mixed up.
KTF and 3d6 shaving damage.
I did not make it.
You didn't make it?
Nope.
Oh, crap.
Glad I was putting distance.
So you
Run away, little girls.
you swing
Run
this
away.
blade in, and as you swing the blade, you can see almost like the pleading forms of tortured souls reaching out from the sword, almost as if to say, no, no more, no more. It strikes into Bren. Bren, you feel your almost like your life essence being tried to pull away. You can hear the screaming of like the damned in the background, and kind of like the unanswered prayers of people who have been damned to hell as the blade bites into your flesh.
This is much. It's exactly how you felt when you watched the most recent Star Wars trilogy. By his own kid. That's exactly how you felt.
Oh my God. And just in case you need something else to watch, there you go. As you feel bone and sinew get crushed under the onslaught of this blade. Excuse me. You feel a loss of control. You feel a cold shiver race up your spine, and you reach up and hit the quick release on your plate carrier and rip off the plate carrier as the skin under your nose and mouth burst forward, and your teeth all like basically hit the beach. That brings us to back to Nick.
Well, I'm faced with a choice here. I'm waiting for my dice. I can engage in what seems to be futile combat, and I might die, having not drained this bottle of super cognac.
Run away.
That's the true tragedy.
So I drained the bottle of super cognac.
Oh God.
Kind
So
of
you're-
hoping that dice are going to kick in.
You're sitting there, you're drinking the what do you call it? The super cognac. And you see like another like a little crab come up from the beach and stop and look at you and just kind of like it's doing one of those things. So you don't know if the cognac's really that good.
Yeah.
Or maybe the siren has poisoned you.
Yes.
But you're like, and then the crab goes like in response, like mirroring you. So
Did this
far, that's
crab
what you
turn things to stone.
doesn't look like it, and it's not big. It's only like that big.
You should share your cognac with it. Give it a
I
go.
pick up the crab and throw it at the thing.
If you can see the crab, you can throw it away, right?
So you throw the
The
crab.
gift that keeps on
Yeah,
giving.
like,
So wait a minute.
do something, buddy.
So Rock Powers is giving JR crabs. Whoa.
Jr. You need to roll a saving throw. You need a 10 or higher.
I did not make it. I got a 5.
Oh, that's not
So I
good.
have crabs.
Sort of.
Crab grenade.
Oh, that's gonna get clipped and taken out of context.
Oh yeah. Anybody who wants to clip it, it's at 2 hours and 1 minute. Nick, roll 5d6.
Oh,
Oh goodness.
that'll hurt.
We're gonna get a 6. We're gonna get a 3 for 9. We're gonna get a 3 for 12. We're gonna get another 6 for 18, and the last one will be a 4 for 22 points.
So you're just like, what the? And you chuck it at him, right? The crab hits his chest, and he doesn't do anything because you just threw a crab at him. The what do you call it? More like a spider than a crab. It just stops right on the chest emblem, and is like in through the greave on the side of the arm plate. The wings the wings on this thing start slapping the beach, and he's trying to rip off chest plate. He drops his sword into the beach, and the sword evaporates. At one point he starts to separate some of the what do you call it? The shoulder pauldron and the breastplate, and you see a swarm of minuscule crabs like underneath the armor, and it just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling until he's being bitten to death by a swarm of crabs. They start pouring out of the armor. He screams as if to say no, and they come tumbling out of his mouth.
He barfs crabs.
At that point,
More crabs.
You
in
should
your
get
body
it
is
treated.
That
rude.
was a Singapore trip, wasn't it?
The moral of the story is get your crabs treated and it doesn't grow.
at one point he brings his hands up to what do you call it, to like create this massive fire wave. You see his chest expand. The ghostly symbol of the bird, of the eagle on his chest, turns into a phoenix and becomes fire. The tips of his wings that are kind of like just singed with like the dying embers of like a fire burst into flame, like he's going to burn this thing out of him. A truckload of violence hits this thing from the back as a werewolf jaw snaps around its head. 2 huge talons come on its shoulder, and there's like the ripping of fabric as these jaws slam around its head. Then you hear spine and bone and sinew break and snap as Bren Villanueva's werewolf form from behind rips its head off, throws both halves into the ocean, and then roars right in everybody's face.
I'm pinging, aren't I?
What's that?
There's a werewolf. I'm sure that I'm pinging at this point.
Yeah. Now we have to roll for initiative against Bren.
Good luck,
All right.
boys. I had a
All right,
joke
my
ready and
uns-
everything.
I have the perfect thing for him. That giant ball of bones seems like a really good doggy treat toy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, yeah. Do my
Brandon
whole
has
rim
more
bit.
party kills than the GM.
He does actually. I miffed that.
Is he approaching James level?
Oh, it's gonna be close.
I miffed that trying to hit JR, I did not hit him once. Which for me is like,
Yeah, because
I've hit him-
accidentally you've hit him a bunch of times.
yeah, I've hit him way more times than that. I want to do my here doggy bit, but with the giant bone ball, and I just want to kind of chuck it, like play catch with it.
All right, so it's kind of like in a centipede form right now. It slithers off the
boy.
boat and slaps him in the face, kind of, and
Don't
then like
attack
hovers.
him.
No, doesn't really like attack him. It just pushes him. Right.
Okay.
Kind of like you would push a dog toy under a dog's nose.
Yeah, like,
It slithers back and starts shaking. The rattling of the bones kind of like sounded like a rattle.
Nice.
Bren, give me a saving throw.
I failed.
The you snap twice at it, and as that happens, it turns into that giant ball and rolls down the beach, and you run after it.
Yes.
You can see JR's body on one side of the beach, torn in half, and laying beside it is the cloak, but there's what looks like an old man under the cloak. He's wearing what you would think would be like wizard robes straight out of the Lord of the Rings. He's wheezing. You can see like every once in a while he coughs and like a small crab comes out of his mouth. And he's like, I can't believe I'm dying from this.
I walk up to him and I go, I knew you were bad, and I can't believe you're dying too. But it gets worse because I've had a lot of cognac to drink, and I piss in his dying face.
It's like peeing on a fire, right? So it just like withers into like little ashes and like flaming bits of burning cloak as they kind of like waft away. And the beach goes quiet except for the stomping and snapping of a werewolf somewhere off in the forest. What do you guys do?
Is there a corpse left?
Of JR?
Just asking. Yeah.
There is. It's in two halves, but yes.
That's all right. I only need half of it. I got Benny's arm.
Oh
and
gosh.
Heartbeat's off,
left
optional,
foot.
right?
So I only need half.
And I know this feels really odd, but I have like a strange hankering for crab.
I do too.
So
You're going for sushi later anyway.
I am. I usually get like the crab in the roll that I want, but like right now, like a crab boil would be great.
What are you guys doing? I know you're collecting half of JR.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna make sure one of my birds stays on Bren, keeps an eye on him. The other is going to maintain a perimeter. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on anything around us.
You get the sense of like if you've ever seen a big dog play when they pounce. The thing you see this like giant like boulder roll across, it becomes like a snake and rattle. He jumps over and slaps the sand. It's very unevel like.
I'm in doggy heaven.
In case he starts coming back this way, I'm gonna make sure to let the party
After
go.
a few minutes, the first sergeant from the Rangers comes over with a squad, and he goes, "You would not believe what just happened over on the other end of the beach." He's like, "Oh crap! He goes, "What happened to Man Boy?"
He turned into a genie and killed him.
He died of a horrible infestation of crabs.
I'm going back to that side of the beach. Screw you guys. All right. So, do you guys head back to your fort?
Yeah.
All right.
I lug my big knapsack over my shoulder, and I head back.
Toth, are you going with these guys?
I'm going to check the remainder of the bodies for any personal effects that might need buried or some such, and continue reciting the epics of the day on the way back to wherever we're going.
Gotcha.
It's all right,
So,
dwarf guy. Once
They're
you get
looting
over
my
all the
corpse.
weirdness, it's all cool. You'll get used to it.
So they're looting my corpse. I that's kind of appropriate given I looted everyone else's.
everybody else's corpse.
I'm literally.
I hear it
I
goes
called
up.
it. I
You
called
don't want to
it.
know what he's going to do with your body later, JR.
I've seen what he does with everyone else's.
Well, I got Benny parts and JR parts now, and snake rib parts.
a ghoul foot.
Rick James is gonna
A
run
cool
around with
thought.
the little head of Benny on instead. He's gonna make a Franken
Hey,
Benny.
that's my true.
I don't have a head yet. That is an issue.
You guys get back to the fort, and it looks like the captain of the Rangers has been very busy. He's got some sandbags filled with some fighting positions. He's got a bunch of what do you call it? Patrols set up. It looks like they've just been in the middle of a massive fight, though.
With what?
There's undead all over the place.
More body parts.
Well, I will explain to him.
Parts from back.
Yeah, I'll explain to him the deal with the siren. Though I don't know if she's still alive or whatever, but apparently that's their side of the island, and if any enemies come and we lure them over there, they're cool with that.
Yeah, is she still alive? I got the impression she bit it.
You haven't seen her since the fight.
Yeah, pretty sure she turned into a glitch in the Matrix.
So she, the captain looks at you and he says, we got this pretty hemmed up, but we were in the middle as your friends off the shore were pounding the crap out of those flying boats. They were dropping personnel all over the island. We're still putting out fires. I got 2 teams out there trying to work it, but somehow a freaking werewolf ended up on the island, and God knows how that happened. But
Yeah, we don't know anything about that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
he's like he's prancing around chasing a big ball of bones or some crap.
I
I
know.
don't know. He's like, they fired a Carl Gustav at the whole mess a little while ago, but we haven't heard anything since. But we'll have to see what happens.
Ow.
He says, what do you need us to do?
Well, I think now we need to secure this area. We need to link up with our ship, and we need to recover the forge.
He says, that sounds like a good plan. By the time we get everything together, me and mine should be good enough to assist you in that. He says, do you have a plan for getting out there, for getting underwater, all that jazz?
We do. We have frogmen. We have a boat. We have other stuff, but I've been drinking a lot.
He says the frogmen wouldn't be the same frogmen that took us prisoner, would it?
No, these are good guys. These are more like us.
Right on, right on.
They actually helped rescue you. These are good people.
And he's like, you got anything else to drink?
You can have some of my super cognac, but don't drink it all.
He says, I wouldn't drink it all on you. He goes, just most of it. He
Forgot with
says,
the crabs.
so let's go get us a forge.
Yeehaw!
Woo! And that's where we're going to cut it for episode 20 of Shattered Sea, a Forgotten Ruin actual play. Real quick, Toth, did you want to tell us about Three Raven Publishing really quick and some of the hillbilly space opera you got going on over
dear
there?
God.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, yeah, threeravenspublishing.com. This weekend we have book 2 of the JTF series Widowmakers, which is written by me. It's available for free download this weekend on Amazon. Currently, the new title's out is let's see, Zoomers by John Drake, which is a comedy satire sci-fi like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Then we have an epic fantasy that just came out called The Raven and the Crow, Darkstorm Rising. If you like the Belgariad, you're going to love it. The next thing coming up would be Starflight, Tales from the Starport Lounge. If you ever played Starflight back in the 80s, well, I landed a deal with the IP holder, and now we're doing stories within the Starflight universe. We've got Robert Silverberg as our headliner. 17 stories, I think, total in the anthology.
Wow.
A good collection. It's a beast. Oh, my God. We put that
Robert
together. It's like, it's freaking big.
That sounds great.
And it's a great collection. I mean, we got mobsters, we got pirates, we got smugglers. You know, we got regular crews going out and actually doing the mission, because that's one of the things about Starflight was you never actually had to do the game. It was the first open sandbox video game ever. So you could play the game forever and ever and ever, but never actually do the game, do the mission.
I have a vague memory of playing the game. I just can't remember it.
And one of the cool things is the guy that created it, he was actually on the team for Star Control 2, and he's the creator of Toe Jam and Earl, Greg Johnson.
Okay.
So look it up, threeravenspublishing.com.
Very cool.
That's awesome. Hey, thanks for coming out and playing with us today.
Hey, this has been cool, man. I just got to get my head wrapped around exactly what the hell's going on.
Well, like I said, you jumped into episode 20. So, there was a lot of stuff that came before this. This battle has actually been many, many, many moons in the making. And their battle for control for this island was actually almost 5 episodes. So yeah, it's been a bit. There was a lot going on. So we're going to be taking a quick break. Nick, did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we're gonna shift. We're gonna take a break, a little summer vacation while we reorientate and retool the show and get ready to go with the next launch phase, which I think will have a pretty exciting Kickstarter attached to it for the game. And then we're gonna move to Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock PST. And we'll probably still be doing the After Dark show, though we'll do an After Dark show tonight. But basically, the game is now going to move to midweek at night, and that should be more accessible for more people. And we promise to bring back all the hilarity, fun, and insanity. And we're sorry about Lieutenant Rick James dying, but JR's going to make a new character, I think, or after a short hiatus, right, JR?
You're not sorry about that.
Yeah, I got to. No, totally okay. I've got to get some words caught up, and so this just felt like
yeah.
All I can say, he attacked my mustache, and he got what he deserved.
It's undeniable. You attack the mustache, you die.
Absolutely. Just want to say thank to that was you who followed us, William. Thank you very much for that. And we also had a whole lot earlier. I'm terrible for checking this thing. That Captain Kilgosha actually resubscribed for a month, so that's awesome. I mean, every time you guys subscribe and do like all the craziness, you help us supporting the show. We can do a little bit more with not so much less, and it really helps. So this goes out to you, a little bit of magic and mayhem as we wind things down, build up our camp, and we'll catch you next time on Shattered Sea Wargate: A Forgotten Ruin playtest. Thank you.